Hey guys, welcome back. I'm going to show you guys this amazing Mutant Marauder rush strategy, and it works. It's such a glorious, it's a super fun strategy, and it will leave your opponent shocked because they don't expect these ugly looking creatures to be rushing down a battlefield in 5 seconds. It's crazy how good this strategy is and how strong the Mutant Marauders are against vehicle units. And what you're going to do, of course, is bring in a militant because you need to support your mutant marauders. Like in this case, his bugs may have killed my mutant marauders if I didn't protect it. So look at how fast that harvester gets chopped into pieces. It's nothing to these marauders, man. These marauders just laser that poor little guy, and that guy is just, crushed into bits here. And my opponent here, Tony, he's scratching his head. He's thinking, oh man, what am I gonna do? All I have are war factory units and a scarab. And war factory units don't stand a chance to these mutant marauders, man. Mutant marauders can absolutely destroy like any war factory units out there, man. They can't even kill chem buggies. That's how good these guys are. Chem buggies are known to kill pretty much any infantry units in the game, including cyborgs and zone troopers, but these mutant marauders can actually fight them, man. That's how good these guys are. That's really the potential. You can see just how underrated, how underused these marauders are, because I barely see these guys being used. And look at my opponent, he can't farm. He had 2 patches of crystals on fire, so his harvester's not going to move, and he has no protection. He has absolutely 0 protection. Yes, he could have brought infantry units in the game to protect his harvester early game, but I would have dealt with that with my militants. I would have found a way anyways to circumvent around any other defensive units had he brought them in. He could start building chem buggies. Like in this case, you see him popping one, but he's got no economy, right? That's the issue right now. And look at just how good the mutant marauders are once again against these chem buggies. He focuses on firing my drill pod there, or my Seth's flame squad, but my mutant marauder just shredded that thing before it even died. So like it can take hits from those chem buggies, man. That's how good these marauders are. They are super good, and this strategy is super fun to use. Games end really quick. Establishing battlefield control. And this will be our second victim, Saxonville. He's gonna be in for a surprise here, as you guys will soon see. And once again, I'm gonna be starting off into that Marauder rush. Of course, this is another nice map to do a rush on because the crystals are easy to get. It's hard to defend your harvester, and he actually goes for an attack bike rush here. He sees I have no harvesters, and I see that he has no harvesters as well. So I'm going to be winning this fight, however, because I have the Marauders, and Marauders, once again, guys, is going to absolutely wreck any war factory units pretty much in the game. Even chem buggies. These guys are so good, and I have a couple laser squads to actually support my Marauders this time. And his harvester barely gets any farming time here because these guys kill harvesters so fast. He goes for 1 chem buggy in a desperate attempt to protect his harvesters here. It gets a little bit of a damage from my laser squads, and then it's going to be finished off by my Marauders. Too bad these Marauders are not Tiberium Cloud immune, but I guess that would make them super overpowered in that case. So, because then that means, of course, they won't even die to the chemical warrior. But anyways, I end up absolutely just clobbering this guy. This guy's absolutely screwed. There's like really nothing he can do. He can't build those flame tanks. He can't build basilisks because he has no money. Poor guy has no money. So what I do is I start attacking his base because I'm just gonna end the pain right here. This man has been suffering too much. So I was like, okay, I've been roasting this guy. I've been lasering him too much with my ugly little monsters here. So you know what? Let's end the pain by just zapping his base and get this game ended in under 2 minutes, because why not? We can do that. We got that power. We have the time to do that, and there we go. His base gets lasered by my grotesque beasts, and once again the underrated mutant marauders pull through and defeat the Nod War Factory deck. And this will be the third victim, Wazamon, and he's gonna be using the Jade Commander. This map's a little bit different than the other two. The crystals are a little bit harder to get to, but definitely not the worst map to do a rush on. So I once again go for that Mutant Marauder rush, here with the nice little Militant support once again. And my opponent actually has an attack bike here and he had no harvesters. So he was smart about this. He was kind of maybe expecting I might try to rush his harvesters here to the top. He goes for a laser squad. He did have chemical warriors, but chemical warriors, keep in mind, are 60 crystals. So he didn't have enough money to build them. They're the more expensive flame squad version. And he can't build a harvester because he knows as soon as that harvester comes out, I'm going to be murdering that thing with these, you know, jaded beasts, these mutated marauders. And he's like, what should I do? Should I build a harvester? Should I build a chemical warrior? You know, what am I going to do, man? Can I ever start to farm here? Because he's zoning me here. And there you go. There comes out a couple of good old chemical warriors, which he can't beat. Missile's almost done. So I decide to run away and capture the launch pads here instead. He tries to get a laser squad on top, but it gets tile blocked by my mutated murdering marauders. And laser squads are no match against mutant marauders because mutant marauders are so beefy. They have so much health. I'm not even worried about that. He tries to chase me away here. And once again, I check to see if he has a harvester. No harvester yet. I had double harvesters. I'm having a good time. I'm having a super solid lead. And I go for the Infernal Bombers here because that was kind of my best answer to these Chemical Warriors, because I like using the air units with this Mutated Marauder rush just in case, you know, something doesn't work out as intended to. Like in this case, this is one of those longer games. But he goes for an attack bike, maybe trying to stop my Infernal Bombers here. But, you know, I'm not going to let that thing go through and hit my Infernos. And that's what he constantly tries to do. I burn down his Harvester. I don't let him farm. And once again, because Mutant Marauders are so good at killing, you know, these attack bikes and other War Factory units, you know, he's just absolutely going to get wrecked here by one Inferno and one Mutant Marauder. He gets no economy. The guy, you know, this whole game, he's being trolled by these these spectacular mutated Marauders, and he just gets murdered. And just like the other players, he bites the dust, and he faces defeat. Now this is the fourth game I want to show you guys against my opponent Grey Robber, and this game is going to play a little bit different, actually quite a bit different than the first three games. It's going to be a longer game because you want to look at the map first before you build any units. This is a type of map where it's harder to do a rush on because the crystal patches are harder to get to, and these natural rocks, this natural barrier creates choke points where it's harder for you to kill the harvesters and easier for your opponent to defend. And he also had shockwaves, and these shockwaves are at level 10, 2 levels higher than my militants and my mutant marauders. So, you know, I didn't really want to mess around and risk everything, risk it all. So I just built a whole bunch of militants here. I tried to tag team on a shockwave here with 2 of my militants, but apparently they won't win against level 10 shocks if your militants are 2 levels lower. I eventually do go for a Mutant Marauder here because I still wanted to kill his Harvester. So I try to sneak it in down south here. I also go for a double Harvester because my best weapon to kill shockwaves were the Avatar. That was the only strong unit except for my drill pods. But once again, my drill pod here, which I dropped in to distract the shockwave, is 2 levels lower. So still my best weapon to clear out these shocks were the Avatar. And right now he's got 4 shocks on the map. I pushed away his Harvester, so he's not farming here a little bit. So, you know, I had a small victory, but he still had major map control here. He even captured the first missile. So it's not looking so good to me. Eventually my Mutant Marauder gets zapped and shocked here. And he just proceeds to farm his crystals here. He goes actually for a second Harvester because if you look at his build, he has 2 very scary Tech Lab units, which are the Sandstorm and the Mammoth Tank. And the Avatar, getting that speed nerf, you know, doesn't make it a very good unit anymore. I mean, the Avatar is still very strong, but it's not as good because being slow is just never a good thing, right? The Avatar having that speed advantage really made it easy for you to dominate the map quickly, moving it across very fast. But his shockwaves eventually get all flamed here. But he has an Orca Bomber ready to blow up my Avatar here. And apparently the Orca Bomber can 2-shot the Avatars. I can't exactly remember if he does. No, it's actually a 3-shot. It's a 3-shot and it will kill the Avatar here. I do end up killing one of his Harvesters here. I captured a second missile, which I needed to do because he didn't move his shockwave for some reason onto the right-hand launch pad. He actually could have went into the game here. But anyways, I go for some Phantoms here. I start taking out those Orcas. And my avatar eventually does go down here. And yeah, I try to hunt the orcas with my phantoms, and then still build avatars here because he still had shockwaves, and you know I knew I couldn't deal with these shockwaves unless I built these avatar. Even my drill pod once again wouldn't do much because his shockwave levels are higher. And yeah, at this point, you know, he has one harvester here. He actually boosts up a mammoth tank here, which was really surprising. I didn't expect this mammoth tank, and the mammoth tank also being one level higher. Will beat an avatar with ease, with no problem. But you know, having that launch pad control, which is more important, which is what I did at the end here, won me the game. So this is a type of game where I wanted to just show you guys. You know, sometimes you get countered, right? So my Mutant Marauder Rush play did not work very well. This map was also a very difficult map to do a no harvester rush on. So sometimes you have to modify your play. I just wanted to show you guys that you have to always kind of try to think on the spot. And sometimes when the rushes don't work, I'm sure you have other units that you can use to, you know, counter your opponent's unit if you can, and you need to really focus on going that path. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Regardless, I'm having a huge success rate with a no harvester marauder rush because it's still a very good strategy. And even if you start off with a harvester and you build a marauder and kill, you can still kill his opponent, the opponent's harvesters with ease if you know how to use it. But let me know what you guys think about this unit. It's a super cool unit to use right now, and I'll see you guys next time.